Morning, Rakash. Um, Parallel emotions. Kind of an interesting notion. I've been thinking of two specific examples of this. Well, the entire, first, I maybe explain that. In my mind, the entire notion of parallel emotions are emotions that feel similar in one's mind, but are actually kind of disparate or distinguishable, perhaps with different purposes or characteristics. I was thinking of at least two examples of this. One of them would be doubt as opposed to paranoia. Feel very similar, but seem to be actually different, right? In terms of doubt, you would think of it as like an intellectual reaction to inconsistent data slash stories slash whatever, right? Or perhaps a reaction to being let down by someone or something, right? Blank happens, so I'm doubtful of blank, right? Paranoia is more so what you consider a an instinctive kind of reaction to one's like perceived schismatic mentality. Like the brain that is broken in some regards becomes, paranoia, paranoid. And I don't think it's necessarily wrong. It feels like if the thing that's processing all of the your observations and coming up with courses of action is compromised, then yes, in fact, everything is dangerous. Although perhaps it's more a matter of interpretation rather than observations, where you're seeing the world around you is actually dangerous versus, this is the thing that's busted. So there's an element where you should probably trust the people around you, but you shouldn't trust your mentality, which kind of kneecaps the former, I suppose, on some level. But I tend to think like if you train the right instincts into yourself, and if your trust for your family, for your friends, for whatever, is something that you have trained into yourself, that can it can help keep you grounded in situations like that, I imagine. I have a good imagination in that regard. No, we'll pretend that's the case. Anyways, the other one I was thinking of is romantic love as opposed to sexual attraction. Romantic love, in theory, is a thing that can happen at any point in life. At least such has been my experience. I started, having crushes on girls remarkably early, and I guess I don't know if remarkably, but quite early in life, right? It's only later that you develop the capacity for sexual attraction, really, on any level, it seems like, anyways. So they're not exactly the same instincts. Now, it's good that we correlate them in our mind. Generally speaking, the entire notion that you fall in love with a person you want to have sex with is probably a good thing, given that, if you want to have kids with this person and have those kids raised in an incubatory environment by mentors who are genetically similar, it's probably a good thing that you love the person who you want to have sex with and have kids with to some extent, right? That it's good that we associate them, but they're not exactly the same thing. And a person can believe they're in love when in fact it's just a lot of chemicals telling them that they want to have sex with this person or something. Again, they're not exactly the same thing. Anyways, if you have other examples, you can put them in the comments and stuff. Those were the ones I was thinking of.